Welcome back. It has been a good week for that man right there, Afroman. Last Wednesday, he won a First Amendment court case after an Ohio sheriff's office sued him for defamation over songs he made about a raid they conducted on his house back in 2022. Now streams of his music have skyrocketed by the hundreds of percents. We'll tell you more about that in a minute after the verdict went viral. Our legal expert, Whitney Traylor, is here with us. Whitney, you were going to stop by yesterday and talk about this, but we had some more, sort of important breaking news, so we're going to get to it today.
Yeah.
For folks who just couldn't, that was just a quick synopsis. How did we get here?
Yeah, let me try and keep a straight face. So how did we get here? Essentially, the sheriff's department in Ohio raided his house, raided Afroman's house, and they were looking for kidnapping, evidence of kidnapping and drugs, which they didn't find. There were no charges ultimately filed. And when they did so, they damaged his property. They came in and raided. It was his wife and 2 children that were home, and he had home surveillance. And so there was home surveillance video of what they did, and then his wife was also recording on her cell phone. And so there was one officer, so they went through, they raided his house. One officer, as he was brandishing his firearm, looking through, there was some pound cake sitting on the thing, and he kind of did a double take, and he looked at the pound cake a little too long. And so as a result, Afroman made this song and started calling him Officer Pound Cake. And so it really picked up. And then the sheriff's department filed this defamation lawsuit. And I think we may have those lyrics to the song. Yeah, there they are.
Oh, he calls him out directly. Adams County Sheriff kicked down my door. Then I heard the glass break. They found no kidnapping victims, just some lemon pound cake.
Yeah.
Mama's lemon pound cake. Yeah.
But the song is really funny. Yeah. We were hoping to play the video, so if you go to YouTube, you can see it, and it's gotten millions of views.
And here's the thing, I don't interrupt, but just for our viewers, I want to let them know that this guy, this rapper, has been around for quite some time. He wrote this song, Because I Got High, which made him super famous. Whether you like the lyrics or not, good song, and people like it. And also, I mean, because it was talking about drugs and they were looking for drugs, he also has a history of funny lyrics.
Yes, this was a funny song, and it was somewhat of a parody, and it picked up, it got traction, and so they filed this defamation lawsuit, an invasion of privacy, a number of different claims. 2 of them were dismissed. So it went to a jury trial. This all happened in 2022, and it went to a jury trial, and they just came back last week with a verdict in his favor. And I'm not surprised at all. Their case did not have any legal merit whatsoever, in my humble opinion.
Right. Now, if the officers had won, if they had won, how would the damages have been decided, and what did the officers claim were their damages, even in the first place?
That's a great question. So with defamation, that's one of the toughest issues. So even if you can prove defamation, then the question is always damages. And so a lot of times it's like, okay, did somebody defame me, and then as a result I lost my job, or I didn't get this business, something like that. You can have reputational damages as well. And so here they were claiming that they said that people started looking at them differently. One received death threats. They received hundreds of pound cakes at the station.
Not too
bad. Right. Right. And so that was one of the issues, was that, first of all, these are public figures. And so in order to prove the case, they would have had to shown not only did he defame them, which is essentially harming their reputation, but he did it with malice. So there's a higher standard for public officials, and they weren't able to prove that. And essentially they were saying, people looked at us differently, it was embarrassing, those type of things. So even if they won, I don't think the damages would have been significant at all.
One could argue we wouldn't even be talking about this if they didn't sue him by now. So it seems like they may have done some more damage, because now everybody's playing the song and talking about it on TV. I'm wondering, sometimes when you bring a lawsuit and you lose it, you wind up having to pay, you wind up having to pay the defense's fees. Did anything like that happen in this case, or?
So no, I don't think that's the American rule. So you can get attorney fees in a couple of different ways. So if it's in the statute or if there's a contract, I don't think that was the attorney fees Afroman would get his attorney fees paid. But the question is, were the taxpayers having to pay the police officers' attorney's fees, because this case would have been hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
Litigation is just super expensive. And I think they sued because I think they sued as an official body. So I think it would have ultimately been on the taxpayers, which makes this even more egregious because, again, a lawyer is going to look at this and say, okay, there's all these defenses to defamation. Truth is a defense. Opinion is a defense. And so when he's calling him Officer Poundcake, that's really an opinion. You know, that's not really something you can prove as true or false type thing. So there were a lot of holes with this case. And that's, and as I said, 2 of the 5 claims got dismissed before they even went to trial. So this just did not have merit.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, I think I've read it in Billboard that his catalog jumped by 500%.
Yeah,
Marketing.
This week. I mean, I hadn't listened to that song in years
good
either.
Press,
so
bad press.
That's part
Money
of
in the bank.
that's a defamation claim. And a lot of lawyers will say, even if you have a good defamation case, a lot of times you're bringing the case because you don't want this out there. You want to clear your name. But it does the opposite. It draws so much attention to it.
Especially
and
in the
now
States.
these officers are known nationwide as Officer Poundcake.
all right, Whitney, thanks so much.
Sure.